Hello, brother. 谁 press cloud recording 是你吗？是因为他开音乐，但我在这边讲话，他麦关了。
Dharma brothers and sisters, we'll be starting the session very shortly. Please to get settled in while we wait for Rinpoche to arrive. Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Rinpoche.
Okay. Okay, page number 9. Dunja namka lama ba me ba lang kor chancho semba pa de me be kor muze yo ba ju.
In the space in front appears the Guru in the form of Amitabha, surrounded by an inconceivable retinue of bodhisattvas.
Namo Concho Sum Dan Zawa Sum Jamne Nam La Chab Sun Chi Drogo Sanje Lang Gui Chi Chan Chon Cho De Sem Ji Do Namo Concho Sum Dan Zawa Sum Jamne Nam La Chab Sun Chi Drogo Sanje Lang Gui Chi Chan Chon Cho De Sem Ji Do.
Namo. To the three jewels and the three roots, the places of protection, I go for refuge. In order to establish all beings in Buddhahood, I give rise to the mind set on supreme awakening.
Page number 28. Hong Yang Re Nong Wan Ta Ye Ge Zun Zhen Zha Re Sim La De Nong Wan Ta Ye Lo Na Me Rang Re Chu Ge Ngon Zai Chi.
Hong. Innate awareness is the form of Amitabha. Look at the mind that is free of subject-object duality. There is no other Amitabha than that. How wondrous is the truth body of self-knowing awareness.
Give you translate. Oh, put you.
Yo.
Yeah, oh yeah. Teni Tomar the Tamala Samju Hujitang. Teni Tangaranso Sunam Mambo Sapalatine. Teni Tereng Maransuta Dewachi. Dewachi Opamingo. Teni Dhondrup Chimala Nyamjo Sijichone. Teni Nyamne Siake. Teni Kawazambo Chongwares. Te hachang ngana chungone tene gagu pachitang ndo tabu kokam de shindene rintang chiwa zachimbo de chade yores tate karejene tene rintang chimbo de zachimbo chaka yoresenas ngana chun dum zonde pa tanji tene jewa ngama jewa smas tene jewa ngapse kele ni le jumre kele nge yores te indu tene 다라 오빠 동점 늘었더니 띵아서 소남 초차자 자침보지 쌓아야거든요. 가와정보 던지리 되는데 아서 창마더니 가와정보 슬라빠더니 잡진 같이는 뭐 짓다버더니 왜 요대버더니 되게 쫑코나는 아서 냠도 쇼트반더니 하장게 소남 침보 제와 망보는 아서다 제 모남당 소남게 또거더니 너다버더니 가와 더딘바 종요레스 가래 있으나 땅 알아서 지 대왕도 받직바리 동하문도 받직바리스 대인도 되니 대외 저 시바드니 공조스나 띠네더니 톱고와 인디 되니 너다버더니 알아서 산지어 밤이 다른 냠민시야 너더니 알아서 다 게베죠 쳇바던 파바 소남사고 행 쳇바던 파바더니 고갑딘바 근데 차디요레스 대인도 되니 된 냠조시 탑바 탐지되는 안 상마 가와 잠보 레스 덴두 다타와 가장게 드니 고갑토디 창마 가인도 쪼인도 드니 가토 빠드미 병안에 드니 냠니 난고레스
So first of all, hello everyone. And so now we're meeting together for this practice of the 100 million mantra accumulation of Amitabha. And actually, the fact that we are able to gather together for this is a result of an immense amount of merit that we have accumulated in the past. And as a result of that, now we are meeting for this retreat of the 100 million mantra accumulation. And everyone who joins in this practice really is extremely fortunate, and you should really recognize that and rejoice in that, because this is a very special and a very rare opportunity. It is very precious because the fact that we are coming together here for this meeting is that all of us, we believe, we trust in that there are past lives and future lives, and we accept karma, cause and effect. And now together we engage in the practice of the 100 million mantra accumulation of Amitabha. And all of that is an incredible merit. We are extremely fortunate, all of us. And especially we have the fortune now that His Eminence Dorzin Rinpoche is joining us in this mandala together with us. This is really an incredible merit. And it's really the result of many lifetimes of having made prayers in many lifetimes. It is an incredible, powerful merit that we are in the circumstance now practicing together with Rinpoche. And so, all of us want to be happy and nobody wants to suffer. So we all share that in common. And the cause of happiness is something we find from the three jewels, we receive from the three jewels. And therefore, the cause of virtue of happiness also is the practice of the Buddha Amitabha. And now we have a very special opportunity to accumulate such merit, to engage in this practice, and also we have this incredible vast field of accumulating merit. And so therefore I believe that anyone who joins in this practice is indeed very, very fortunate. And so I ask you to recognize that and really engage in this practice with total joy and delight.
Teni tereng ye shaya ke zo te teni ngaran so teni dewa chi na chibi juju ta te koni ma shogu yores chodan ta ngaran so sangma ke pachir dewa chi juju juju shipate rob zang ha ko yu jires yina ya teni ya ha koni tamche la che pa nishi teng sabo che ya tene ya mashi patamjiri shipa tan sarbo chaya tene tesna tene nge gang shishi ma tende shaya chigiyus beso shigiyus.
And so today what I'm going to speak about is the 4 causes of taking birth in Dewachen. And so probably most of you have heard about, have a rough understanding of what these 4 causes are. But I'm going to share a few words maybe to deepen your understanding and your certainty in that. And also for those who know if there are certain things that are unclear, to maybe clarify them, illuminate them. So I'm going to do my best to do that.
다 Dewa kin shi indu kare sungu yasena ngaranzo namju dewa ta donghar si ni yungu dowa. Ni yungu yodu tani donghar mi ba yana ngasu dewa lagu yorwas. Donghar mi na dewa asi. Ta te indu tani dewa tamche nani dewa cheshu de tani dewa chi shingdu chewa yana tani dewa cheshu de chaga yores. Kare sena ngaranzo jiktin di nana yana dewa donghar nye yungu rin samsang ngaran detang tene dupa thot panna dewa neka yongo yore yene ya kon jonru yore was antene dewa yore donga yore tene dewa chi shendo nga so che thapa yena dewa ma to donga juni yo mare was donga thamche le tawa tene shin chepan papa dewa chi se tene njura mi ba tene dewa chi shin te yuta nga so dewa chi shin che goya ke tam yo zongo ya tene dewa njura mi ba 동아 탐체를 했잖아요. 되네 대화 토고 유디더니 디신드지야. 되네 대선은 되네 대화지 생선에 텔레 제거야. 되네 레와 종고에 좀 시든지 연구 요사레스.
And so, now, what is this Pure Land of Dewachen? So we speak about happiness and suffering, or bliss and suffering. And what we call happiness is the absence of suffering. And the greatest bliss, the greatest happiness of all kinds of happiness is the birth in Dewachen. And so that is because even though in this world we do sometimes experience happiness, we also experience a lot of suffering. So sometimes we do find some happiness, but this happiness is not short-lived. It won't stay. And then it will change again into suffering. Once you're born in Dewachen, there will only be happiness, only be bliss. There is no suffering at all. You're completely free of all suffering, all misery in this land. And this happiness you experience there is unchanging. And so that is the reason why we set the intention, the goal of taking birth in Dewachen, because the happiness that we find there is lasting, is unchanging, and it is completely free of all suffering. So that is the nature of this Pure Land of Dewachen, and because that is its nature, that is why we have put our hopes in taking birth in Dewachen.
다 대답더니 대화기는 현대 제거나 드니 텔라 차팅 세난장하는 솔라 마란송원에 참고야 그더니 차팅 예용도 왔어. 차팅 예대 담봉하는 저띵 초경산데스 저 초사 줍장스 조산초 심지스 드니 모아다 모람스 다티 예대 가는 저 차팅도 대화지 현대 제거나 차팅 예 참고요라서 맨날 차팅도 세나 마음소 롱바 인반의 찍찍로거나 차팅고도 담보 파스포 위차 드네치랑 남들 대수 차팅도 차팅 대답 야나 맨날 소소 라향도 지는 양저고요나 양 차팅 요구도 담보 치는 주보 대탕이면 드네치랑 롭통게 락초유미 대수 코티나 양주고는 차팅도 빼 대답 대화기 현에 제거나 드네 텔레 제와 같은 담보 지난날 차징 가서 오니 야창도 와서 대창은 맞아 대화지 현대 제도 와서 대인데 대스는 대화지는 제베 저여서 그 짐신들 인사레스.
And so in order to be born in Dewachen, there are certain criteria that need to be met. So there are 4 causes of taking birth in Dewachen. First, it is the support, which is the field of accumulation. Then second is the cause of accumulating merit and purifying obscurations. Third is the supporting condition, which is bodhicitta. And then fourth is the dedication or aspiration prayer. For example, if you want to travel somewhere to a different place, there are certain criteria, certain conditions that you have to complete before you can go there. So for example, you need to have a passport, you need to have a visa, you need to have an airplane ticket and so on. So there's different conditions that need to be met. Or for example, in order to enter an office, there's also certain criteria to be met. For example, you need to be like physically well, and you need to have a certain like an ID card that allows you to enter and so forth, and to to go in there. And so in any case, in order to be born in Dewachen, similarly, there are 4 conditions or 4 causes that need to be complete. And if they are complete, then it is said that one will take birth in Dewachen. So that's why we learn about those 4 causes.
대화지는 집에 주요 주요나 대화지는 뒤유바 되는 간리지 하고와이 레스나 대 산지의 송요레스 다 산지가 빠긴 도나나 가레송고도 세나스 공개 산지가 로마 공가워라 심지 간다게 대비인시 바테 남라 양다 양도 일시바당 Teni gave our mambo, padami pachipatang, sanchop, the same chipatang, teni te gave our yonsung, tea yet the chawa in us. Teni jiktinji come, senata deva chinatini, jeba, Monlan tapa in us, deva te tabata jiggeterani. Te tamna teni. Chole Nevanas, Chole Nevan Nepanas, and Chole Nevan Nepasina, Maranzota, Pene Natsangimpa, the Po. That Shudo Yuna Sigota, Shudo Yuna. Cup Telas, Cup Tela Chirang Tambon, Dewachen, Chevi Jio, Tarangaranji, Tin Kama, you Pocabla. Detang in Pocabla, Tenichiran Deva Chevi Jio, the Yamlins and a Pe, Yamin Che de Paina. Teni. Devianship, Jajomba, Yandaba, Zoba Sanji, Obami is Sanji Obami, Tini, Gelong, Sotoma, Yonso Coshins, Tini Chiranzala Yunkuyores. Yone, Tini, Te, Nagatini, Sanji Obami, Usangata, Hanji, and Tini, Hatjang rub the gun, Tini, on chewing will. Tini, Chum Pune, Tini. Jiktinji come Dewachen the Chevan Juro Sondo, the Sanjig song a bargain donor, the song those. Donuts or call hound or Hiena, Tanga, $10 Tara Manchulu Kabla, then Sanji Pami, Tinning Agataba, Yamni say, Teniche de Paina, Teni Tam Manchan and Chudo, Sinning Ansota, Tendru Kabla, Yamana, Chune, Padu Kabla. Tene Sanji Paman Cordaje Basone, Tene, Rani Sinjulom Netene, Dewachindo, drink your say, Tonda Teridos. That day, Taba Yunyala, Tambongage, Yamin Chigodoas.
And so, how do we know that we will be born in Dewachen if we create those 4 causes? We know that because the Buddha said it. And the Buddha said in the Amitabha Sutra, he said to Ananda, said that to be born in Dewachen, you must bring to mind again and again the Buddha and the Pure Land, and you must produce many roots of virtue, and you must cultivate bodhicitta, and you must dedicate the roots of virtue. So if these 4 causes are complete, and you make an aspiration prayer to be born in Dewachen, then you will be born there. Just before the time of dying comes, when you are at the verge of death, and that's time when these 4 causes are complete and you pray, and you will be born there. And so for this reason, now that you are alive and well, this is the time you need to practice these 4 causes. And if you practice these 4 causes, then at the time of death, the perfectly complete Buddha Amitabha, together with his retinue, will appear before you and will bring you to the Pure Land of Dewachen. And then you may die with great joy in the mind. So this is how the Buddha spoke in that sutra, the Amitabha Sutra. And so just to put it into simple terms, now when you're still alive, when you're not at the verge of death, this is the time to practice. When you now always practice the Buddha Amitabha, and then at the time of death, when just before you die, or after you have died in the bardo, you will encounter Buddha Amitabha and retinue. They will come and grant their blessings and guide you to the Pure Land of Dewachen. And so in order for this to be accomplished, it is necessary to engage in practice.
That Dewachi Shinkan, the Unhe Yures, and Une Yures. Marang Lo Tetsom Tang, Jane, Marang Chishita Tepa Yona, Tengona, then the Devaching Yu, the Yures. Karichin Yure, Sugzuari, Senas, Tate, Tene kapa pa de mi moro ne si tan do de na pe tu chel ga pe lot ang mangbu lot tong su mangbu ho na tene tara do na song do as 산지 오빠미 되니 되니 게롱 추진 중에 시바 다 공기 대답에 지와 이버 갑라스 지와 이버 갑라 되니 산진 직디 마음소 세지 송이서 산진 직디 마음소 되는 되니 공기 산초지 샘지네 샘지네 되니 공기 샘지 로아 샘지 탐지의 치드 되니 대와지 신지 대와지 신 감시 받지 되니 접고도 대답했더니 마드파드 공상직이 means 대 가든 rumn데 공상직이 sonet니 된든했더니 공상초 샘지네다 로 동설 망볼했더니 산지 세와 차팅 망볼했더니 주반벌 공개했더니 초사 접하잖아. 되네 로 동설 망본 정했더니 공개더라. 산지 밤이 대화지 신데 무슨 rum네. 되네 공 대화지 신칸했더니 산지 밤이 바시바 그와 되네 대답 공기 꼴에 오빠드미 변 초면은 밤이스 되네 공기 끝에 빠드미 바 샘지기 동도 되네 대화지 신칸나 유고 유버스나 되네 제밤이스 끝에 빠드미 배 유버스나 제밤이스 너드는 밤이다 제밤이 찍바리도 왔어 신그 남자 되네 대답 되네 대화지 신데 트럽 뒤쪽어도 되네 산지 밤이 당 콜 대긴 콜했더니 나는 저기 대와 달아 몸살 상진하나 요와 이에스 때니 진에서다 이원든 티칭 톱 너드는 콜 쪼버슨 보스 밤이 코나 봤은 쪼버슨 보더니 대긴 콜드더니 genhong gendu 다 산조슨 보겐 콜 gendu 범차만 보거든요 콜데 봤더니 대화지 신감나 무수 요 대바 들으선 건도 와스 대답 신감 요레스
So then, if you wonder, does Dewachen, does it really exist? It does really exist, and you can be completely free of any doubts. If you are without any doubt, and if you fully trust in that, then Dewachen really actually is there. And so, how does it exist, and how did it come about? Who created it? So many inconceivable aeons in the past, incalculable years in the past. This is also mentioned in the sutras. There was a monk called Chugijuna. And so in the presence of the Buddha of that time called Chigden Wangchuk, this monk cultivated bodhicitta. He gave rise to bodhicitta. And he said that I must create a pure land of Dewachen for the sake of all sentient beings. And until that is accomplished, may I not attain enlightenment. May I only attain enlightenment once that pure land is accomplished. That was his motivation. And so then following that, for many thousands of years, he continued to make offerings to millions and billions of Buddhas. He accumulated great merit and he purified obscurations. And then finally, at the end of all these incalculable years, the Pure Land of Dewachen was created. Amitabha then became a Buddha. He became the Buddha Amitabha, the Buddha of boundless light. He was referred to as boundless light because boundless light rays emanate from his body. And then also, for the sake of sentient beings, having created this Pure Land, in this Pure Land, beings, life is infinite. And so therefore, he is also one with the Buddha Amitayos, or the Buddha of infinite life. So they actually are the same. And so the Pure Land of Dewachen was created, and the Buddha Amitabha was there with his retinue. The main retinue consists of three. There is the Buddha Amitabha in the center, and on the right side is Chenrezig, and on the left side is Vajrapani. And then they are surrounded by an immeasurable assembly, a retinue of monks and Sangha members, hundreds and thousands of retinues, who all abide actually together with the Buddha Amitabha in the Pure Land of Dewachen. So this Pure Land does actually exist.
다 가와요를 삽소 가와요를 신나스 듣는님바 납주 소로 나스인데 나랑 그 대사 그랬더니 납소라더니 산지에 밤에 신감대요래 송도 왔어 듣는님바 납주 소로나 다음에 직대만 봐 파라나 중세 등당 파부 여사나 남바르다 신감대와 진 남바르다 신감대와 진 나랑 납소라요래
So then if you wonder, now where is that Pure Land? The Pure Land is in the western direction. So it says in the direction of the setting sun in the west, beyond innumerable worlds and slightly elevated, there is this land of noble beings, the perfectly pure celestial Ram Sukhavati.
다 나랑 저 카시했던 저와 연구도 배나 대화지리 신나 제야게 되네 몽람 대바여 말이스 대화지 신나 제송와에는 아주 코발에 탈거요 말이스 던드사 삼니 던드 연구도 던드자니 말이스 지나 대화지 신칸나 제 특바이나 되네 마 성숨 라서 받더니 로아르도나는 참고면도 코용고면도 가르리스나 대화지 신시 받더니 체받은 바바 신감 탐지를 되니 체받은 바바 신감이스 다라데 데모나는 수고도 다라 산지기 다 신감 세와 찾아 신감 망보라 대 탐지기 용띵 탐지되니 대화지 신감나는 상대요래 송도스 산지 세와 찾아 자동자 제주자지 산지 신공지 용딩 고바 탐지 직동바 신감공의 체벌라는 미성 들으송고도 왔어 근데 신감 탐지기 용딩 탐지 되는 상유 대스나 신감 탐지를 되니 체벌던 바보 행대 되니 되어지 신인스 되는 아주 되는 게 되는 약고 차기도
Rinpoche?
Yes.
Yes, Ina has just dropped out for a while. I think there is an internet connection. We are trying to reach her. Can you hold on for a while?
Okay.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Everybody can solely recitation on Amadevasha. Listening, recitation together.
Okay, Rinpoche. Rinpoche, we just talked to Ina. The internet is very bad. She's trying to connect back now. So we'll wait for her. Meanwhile, Dharma brothers and sisters, please do chant Om Mami Dewa Shri on your own. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Oh yeah.
Tiniti patu nga koso nga ini tinsun tini dongori to tavan nango go amare kani senati shinkanti cheba papayores isate
Kesi po cho kesi po ko mo dadang dadang hiya te ko ma so ko de
oito
tara kong ne hiya te ko ma so
kan ko te ana di ninso sondini dongori to la tavan chamgo go amare kani senati shinkanti cheba papayores e parto koso
Teta ri te chepan papa res tini de demona nga to song yo as darati shinkan de chepar kare jin phag yo re sena sanji shinkan mangbo ge yong ting 탐지 tinan chchik de dom ne tinan chum du de yo res dewa shinkan na shinkan 탐지 ge yong ti chun du ne tini dewa chi shen de ta chepar tin papa tinan yong ti 탐지 chun du ne tini dewa chi shen de chepan phag yo re so darati phag yo ba yin ti de na song do 산지 세와 차트 자동 차 제주자지 산지 신공제스 다 대답 산지 세와 차트기 신가 산지를 신감을 해요 봐. 대 탐지기 다 산지 세와 차트기 신가 탐지기 용디 탐지 조직된 눈에 되네 뇌연 부신 감됐더니 대화지 신들이 되요레스 대스는 대화지 신들 제반 파고 요레스 디나는 제 상황이나 제 등을 드린 가서 연구면 넣었어.
Yeah. So, sometimes people they ask a question about Dewachen, about praying to be born in Dewachen. I guess they feel that maybe one shouldn't pray to be born in Dewachen because if one is born in Dewachen, then one is still not liberated from samsara. But actually, this is not how you should think about it. This is not how it is. Because once you're born in Dewachen, you no longer have to wander in the lower realms or anywhere in the 6 realms of samsara. And that's why it is said that this pure land is superior to all the pure lands. And so that's also explained in the prayer of Sukhavati. It explains that the qualities of all the pure lands, of all the countless millions and billions of Buddhas are all complete within the Pure Land of Dewachen. So there are millions and billions of Buddhas and they each have a Pure Land, and the qualities of all of these Pure Lands are complete in Dewachen. And so once you're born in Dewachen, you no longer need to come back to a samsaric existence.
Dewaji Shinkamla tani charjin kare yore sena ta charjin rinchin sayu konyola ta dezu pe chami demona ni shinkam ke tani nangi yongting tamje mangbo songdo an do na ngaran su njikting kam ke tani sado rata ba mayin ba tani shinkam de tani rinpoche ke tani changma rinpoche ran yin ba tani tela yang chö dan shen dan me do da zixin la so ba da zhe ma zang bu yu ba tani yi dong wa da den de san ji ma cha ba tani de jin pu sum so ba nga la che zo gu zhang wan du ba yin zhang wa zhuo wan du ba yin zhuo wa de nam xin ko yu se go ra nam xin ana zhe nam ju cha dang ta bu den zhe ma yin ba zhuo dang gang la gang du si yila kangdo ba te tabatini chandu yusares tini te tabatini zheng sheng tamji antini minji sheng tamazambo tini te la tini tripa sa tamji ki tini chuju dra ranging ka drondu yuba tini te tabu yusares tini tina na chi debe tini simchi tamji ya tini ngaranso daranji tin kana chi na nyomong ba nyomong tonga rakpa doa tindri mayin ba nyomong mi paas
So, not only it explains of the Pure Land of Dewachen. What kind of Pure Land is it? So it's not a mundane place like this world. It consists of earth and rocks and so on, but it is completely the nature of jewels and precious substances, and there are beautiful waters and trees and flowers and pleasant smells, scents. Everything is just beautiful and pleasing there. It's just perfect bliss and happiness. And the surrounding, the weather and so on is not erratic how it is now, sometimes hot, sometimes cold, but whatever one wishes, this is what it is. If one wishes it to be colder, cooler, it will be cooler. If one wishes more warmth, it will be warmer. And so that is the nature of this Pure Land of Dewachen. And so it is said that once one is born in Dewachen, there is no suffering there. Suffering is unknown. And also the 5 coarse afflictive emotions no longer exist, even though one still practices to become liberated, but the coarse afflictions do not exist.
tene ta dewa chene chen tene ngatu zuji se meto pe mal churchi yengo doas tene meto pe mal churchi yende kima thade ne tene sanje pa mi ke shantong song tu tene tele tene sanje pa mi ke tene sinje lap te ta bichi tene range pe sanje pa mi tene la yan chupa thamje tene kima thade chupa thamje nga lapun tene kang do pa thamje chupa moya 용구도 와서 양추바프 드네 사이 산지가 사이에 봤더니 장나랑 고부토를 야는더니 신질랍 던지 용구도 와서 드네 데이터부터니 제네즈던 특징도 참만지 드네 용구도 와서 다른 지에서는 가서 따라 직진 칸에 소속에 따라 라마 지그도 소속에 잡을라마 다낭하는 순간 같이는 무슨 지선 데이터 드네 소소베 대화지 시는 끼마 타드더니 산지에 밤이 샤 지트고요레스 지네즈 향지터바 특징도 향지터바 대엔데네더니 추트트바 그 용고요레스
So once you are born in Dewachen, so you're born in Dewachen miraculously from a lotus flower. And the moment you're born from this lotus flower, you see the face of Buddha Amitabha, and you hear his speech, and you receive his blessings, and you make offerings to him. And the moment you think of making offerings to him, these offerings appear in the palms of your hands. And so you make offerings, and then Amitabha places his right hand upon your crown, grants his blessings. And then you also meet Chandrezik and Vajrapani directly. You meet them just like you meet a lama. You see them directly, just like this morning we met His Eminence Dorzin Rinpoche. And so just like that, when you are born in Dewachen, upon birth in Dewachen, you are able to meet directly the Buddha Amitabha and Chandrezik and Vajrapani, and you are able to hear their teachings, their speech of Dharma.
다 대화지 신도 제용와이나 대화지 신감들라 뭐 콤바제 생활한서 다른 뭐 콤바네제 망부시도 대답들은 뭐 콤바제다 민송숨다 되는 요모 동안 라소바타지 남중아랑서 다 차담 무슨 걸로 라파 휴비 여러와 대레와도 도바 또 강양들은 요 말이서 대화지 신은 요 말이스
And so then once you are born in Dewachen, you are free of the 8 unfree states. So that we always mention those 8 unfree states. So you're no longer bound in this way. And also, once you're born in Dewachen, you become free from the 3 lower realms. Then the coarse 5 afflictive emotions, the poisons will no longer arise. Normally we have these coarse thoughts of attachment and anger and so on, and hope and fear. All of these no longer exist once you're born in Dewachen.
다 대답더니 용된 체발 파버더니 신감도 지성와이나 더니 라니르더니 우싱아다 징아 나조 야예가다 대 탐징알라 랑 용도 징아 렌친나조 뭐 우싱아다 징아 공랑아 참말은 우시라서부터 요래서 용된 빠미신의 제발쇼스 람존은 지나서 야예칸 단도드는 대사 세계 대사 탐지 야예칸아니 대사 야예칸 좀도 탐지 일을 준비인종 말 카렌도 바이나야 초를 일 준비 잠지 있는 거요스 저도 뭐 근도 현저도 내서 그냥 마고서는 지나는 노바 탐지되니 저를 인종용 거랬어 맞춤이제 다든 진바 미스 당하는 직딩 칸에는 답변은 건 칸방은 사장은 뭐다 만 나무 nga jakap se sosol danjin jimba yorwa dewa ji singa 대답이 요 말레스 nga tan chu se danjin nga chu me jin daden jimba me gandu 탐지 lakpun tin jongs 아야 danjin mi bang ane der yin jong go yores 탐지 라메 특징 추를 주스 디나는 내 대표더니 dewa ji singa 했더니 코 탐지 여바면 코 탐지 했더니 특받침비 추코나를 주고 요레스 탐지라미 특징 추를 주스 난 너는 삼바든 hin지 코나 샤다 냠내시니 차고 요레스
이골라도 따로 여러분 가능다 그래.
라
이 데면나 가나도
더 데모나 바로는 리데요레 다데 고랑 말이
이게 아디 십자 마탄디라 이면은 라고고도 양 ja, okay, man. So then the prayer of Dewachen explains some of the unique and really special qualities of Dewachen. And so once you're born in Dewachen, it said that one possesses special psychic powers, like 5 clairvoyant powers, and 5 kinds of sight, and many other inconceivable qualities. And all of whatever you think of, whatever you wish for, will naturally appear in an instant and effortlessly right before you. So right now, the things that we have, we are attached to them. So we have these fixations, thinking that this is my house, this is my car, this is my place, this is my family, and this is my country, and so on. Once you're born in Dewachen, none of such grasping fixation exists any longer. And there's no fixation or attachment, and things just naturally appear in the palms of your hands just by merely thinking of them. And so then you are surrounded by an assembly of great beings who all are there to practice, and all the practice, every single one of them, is the practice of love and compassion.
다 내가지 신감을 제서나 전에 당하게 산지어 밤이다 진에서 특징도 라서반에 주셔야 인데 대마고 신감 인바 탐지는 전에 되네랑 주시 랑라니를 좀 쳐 탐로 라니를 좀 쳐 탐네 되네 좀 쳐게 또 그랬더니 Penishing comes in by Umpagavishin come, Topo Kubishin come, Tando Java Ringakin come, the Tamjilin Rotapa, Sunguduas, Zuntrotoba me by Ungishinta, Pardinhin, Lerapzota, Topoku. Then it did our nest, Rinchin Jundi, Toyon, Namalas or Sanjil, Wanda Sinlap Dombash. But they have tennis, Sanji, Jawaranga Lasso Bandinitini, Mal de Tamjin Dunando, Chusha, Wangsha, Dombash, the Tamjil Yan Chubamber. Then young to Rangid Ne, Dewachi called so Yontoba. Then Kitty Pandrotaba, Kitty so Yontoba, could Zuntrogata within it, and the Yungu Yusaris. Then it did our Tarangato, Portalata, Jano, I am in the origin year. And though the Portalatara. Genezeta, Tene, Jitun Dromation come, Guru Rinpoche come. They Tamjila and Donetini, they that Tamjik Dunia, Chushatapa. And Dona Sanjik come Mambolatin, Dona Yan Chupamba, Ma Chusha, Chuda Snap Shataba. They tabachinetin, Tang Lech, Jitin Devachin, Taranga Devachin Chetriate, Opamil and Agitepa saying the Opamis in Lap the Nipaka Devachin Chesomar was. Then Yena Yang Leg Lama de Ladi was. That day in Dutini, Dewachi Jessetini, Sanji the Shinkan Lasso, but that Tamjin, Sanji Mambunji, Chusha, the Tamjin and Chupambanatini, like Le Lama Tamjitini, Kalekalema, Drapat, Jang, Drapata, and the Yonko Yosaris. Then it did Abatini, Kavadim Bacha. That day Tabatini, that Chusha, Wangsha, Sinapsha, Ranga Drapata, Rana Nupadim, but that Zimtur Topa, Shitobata, Rana Teta Chandu, Tene Ranige, sir, Rang Tambo and Jikin Kana Yachi and Jikin Kana Mata to wear. Jikin Kana Mata and do the Nechi social Loma, Talamando in a social Loman Coloma, Yorova. Data, they might be Jikin Pomo, Ramaja Pomoina, Devachin Chediuna, Sosokan Nama, Punchi, they tamjin Tungu, Kawachi and Karedido, Unshidan, the Zumtrotop Mantungures, Tone the Tenete, that Tamjila Mas, Sinjil Laptapa, Sinjil Lap to use on the water at Savan and Songure. Shurjin, Neder, Chalaps, Shurjin, Neder, Sina, Sosoketal, Loma, Sosokan call Loma, the name Sosoketara. Pama Punchi Neders at the Nin. They tamjet in a lie make a savant on Unshi the Zumtrogotop make a mantungures. They tamjel Sungjob Sinjel obsicings, they tamjel mas Sinjel laptapa, Sungjo Sinjel obs. They tamjin Chun Kabla, Gadin Chud and Agahaku was. Chun the Tini Dewachi Kanaga and Tritaba, Lucasungures. Rani Dewachi Jesana, Rani Manqual and China Kawakawa. Rang is so geta, and they thought Tamji and Devaji are jet about the interbat and the Chagayures.
And so then, once you're born, in Dewachen, so you meet directly the Buddha Amitabha, and Chenrezig and Vajrapani, and also you receive their Dharma teachings. But not only that, actually, once you're born in Dewachen, you also are endowed with miraculous powers and these super faculties that allow you to travel also to other Pure Lands, to many countless other Pure Lands, to meet the Buddhas there and receive their teachings. For example, you may travel to the Eastern Pure Land of manifest joy, or a densely arrayed Pure Land, or any of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas at Pure Lands. And you go there, you meet those Buddhas and you receive their teachings. You receive empowerments, you receive vows from them, you make offerings to them. And then in an instant, you return back to your dwelling place in Dewachen. So you travel in this way with miraculous powers. For example, to Chenrezig's Pure Land, that is Potala, or Tara's Pure Land, or Guru Rinpoche's Pure Land, and all of the different Buddha's Pure Lands. You go there, receive their teachings, make offerings to them, receive their blessings. And so now you have taken birth in Dewachen out of great faith and devotion to the Buddha Amitabha. And because of that, you have been consecrated, blessed with the Buddha Amitabha's powers. And however, even though that is the case, there still are some karmic remnants that are left to be purified. So some karmic traces left to be purified. And so once you are born in Dewachen, and then you go through these other Pure Lands and receive teachings from those Buddhas there and continue to practice in this way, slowly you continue to purify these remaining karmic imprints within the mind. But then, so at that point, you no longer go back to some ordinary samsaric life. However, as it is said in the prayer of Sukhavati, it says there that although you no longer return, you possess the divine eyes, the eyes of gods, and with those eyes you can see, look upon this world, look upon this existence that you have left behind, and see all of those you have left behind. For example, if you have been a lama, then you might see your disciples whom you've left behind. Or if you have been a normal lay person, you might see your family members, your parents, and your relatives, your friends, your dear and near ones. You see all of them. You see where they are. You see what they're doing. You see where they are going to take rebirth. You see it all with a clairvoyant eye. And seeing them, you also possess the ability to grant your blessings on them. And then having blessed them, you are able to bring them up, to guide them up to the Pure Land of Dewachen after they have died in their earthly life. So you can see them, you can bless them, and you have the power to guide them up to the Pure Land of Dewachen. And so you yourself already are born in Dewachen. So there is no way that you will again return to a samsaric state of existence, but rather you see those existences and you're able to guide, bring up others that have been left behind in those existences.
다 대응하면서 대화지 신감 대화진기 용티 근데 산지에 밤에 용티 대 탐지 되는 거 하고거래서 대인데 당보 말한서 저 당보 되니 띵 초경 삼대스기도 띵 초경 삼대스디 오가 대화지신의 제거도 삼야게 대화진기 용티된 가서 시거로 왔어 용티신의 되는 거 같은 제거도 삼야 된 가서 로제인 거로 왔어 대인데 되니 다 대화진 용티한테 가서 시는 되니 되는 가게 대파산지 맞춰보고다 대화지신 감 일을 팀바스 띵 초경 삼대스인데 일을 팀투고 대화지신 감고 용티 일을 팀네 산지에 밤에 용티 일을 팀다 신감이 용티 일을 팀다 되니 될 때는 가게 셈라 대파 다나한테 셈나나 되니 종발 고요레스 나라 때는 가게 따라 대화진 집에 다 대화진 신감 용티 라서 하고자 라니 셈니 대파 다나미나 대화지 신감 라제 투고요 말해 담보 대 용티 하고 드니티는 나 대파 다나 제트는 네페야 버리 가서 용티야 쉽지 차왕하게 대화지 신감 꾸발라서 버시 야보 시미네야 생근하는 대파 산지 맞춰봐지다 너들은 대파 흉침 버지요 밤이다 드니 대화지 신감은 드니 나 겐두고 무바침 보여 봐 드니 대파침 보여나 드니 디 top taking 나 대화지 신은 제트고요 대 산지요 밤이 콩레기 나서 샤지지 여러와 대스나트니 대화진 감된 르브려 공개티 투기 몰란된 르브네 대화진 감된 르바리아스 대인디니 공개 투기 몰란데 대화진 세진도 요나얀트니 제터바 종나트니 공티 신감된 르고 송요로와스 대송와나 이트니 르네 디 몰란게 톱데 요레스 대인디데 나고니야 드니 대바든 눈바든 니바드 고요레스 텔라타틴 초긴 삼데스 다랑 안서티 소소르치 남주 오빠미게 초연 요래 대화진 초연라서 발다야 시민은 저를 땅하게 일 샤트바시 대마이는 산지 오빠미 집고 일 샤트나야 보러와 다도 샤트고 미나야 소소 셈나네 되니 용tin 상지 맞잡아 던지지 요리 삼 대바 다나세나네 지그 요사레스 너나 대바 다나미나 잔 지그 요사마리 대바 다나요 봐 디행의 젠도군 동바 요바 이나 되니 띵 초긴 산데스야게 되니 용tin디 찹상한 다나 나도 참고 요레스 되니 나서 남주 다 냠니시 용거를 산지어 빠면 냠니시 인데 되니 토마르도 나서 눈지 남칼라 라마와 빠메번 코산초 sembe고랑 우수 유빠르죠 세양아서 산데고요 띵 초긴 산데스 너르드는 셈나는 가때 사보 직 진토고다 랍도 종아이나 나서 따빠 진토바 테마이나 나 냠니시 비까블 사보 셈나는 문에 진토바 인데 마양바 띵토서 고요레스 잉마쇼바 대인데 되는 가서 다 띵 초행 담보 저 담보 띵 초행 거럽자 쉰르 바인스
So, and then it is necessary to coming up to the first of cause of being born in Dewachen. We need to understand the qualities of the Pure Land of Dewachen, and we need to understand the qualities of the Buddha Amitabha. So, with that understanding, we visualize the field of accumulation, which is the support, meaning that we bring to mind the Pure Land of Dewachen, we bring to mind the Buddha Amitabha. And for that, we first need to know the qualities of Dewachen, and we need to really want to go there, be born there. So this kind of state of mind first arises. So then, on top of that, on top of knowing the qualities of Dewachen and Amitabha, what's really important is that you cultivate really an immeasurable amount of faith and devotion. So that's actually really most important, a faith and a pure view. Actually, no, first we need to bring to mind the Buddha Amitabha and the Pure Land of Dewachen and their qualities. But then that state of mind need to be sustained with an ongoing state of faith and a pure view. For example, even if you would understand the qualities of Amitabha and Dewachen, but if you would have no faith and have no pure view, then you could still not be born there, even though you know the qualities of Dewachen. So we do need to know the qualities first, but then also it's very important, it's critical to have a mind of faith and a pure view. And that's really actually what is most important, even if you don't really know all the details of all the different like elements and the various ornaments and arrays appearing in the Pure Land, even if you don't know all of these details. Actually, if you just have an incredible amount of faith and devotion to the Buddha Amitabha and a very strong wish to be born in Dewachen, then you will be able to be born there through the power of the aspiration. And that is because that was the Buddha Amitabha's initial aspiration, even before he attained enlightenment. It was his compassionate aspiration to only create a Pure Land, to only attain enlightenment if a Pure Land can be created where all beings, if they only pray, can be born. And so the Buddha Amitabha made that the criteria of the creation of Dewachen. And so for this reason, if one really does make an aspiration, then definitely through the power of the Amitabha's aspiration, one will be born in Dewachen. But for that, it is necessary to have a great amount of faith and a real yearning, a longing to be born in Dewachen. Also, that's all belongs to the visualization of the field of accumulation, which is the support. So for that, you look at an image of the field of accumulation, meaning that you look at Amitabha and the retinue, and you look at an image of Dewachen, and just set your mind toward it. But even if you're not able to do that, you can just only bring to mind the Buddha Amitabha. That is fine. If nothing else appears, just the Buddha Amitabha. and just knowing that he possesses these incredible qualities, and you have a very strong yearning with great faith and a pure perception. If you don't have that, then there is really no way that you can take birth in Dewachen. You really need to have a pure perception and faith and a real strong yearning to take birth in Dewachen. And that is on the basis of understanding the qualities of the Pure Land and of Amitabha. And so this is how you practice this first cause on an ongoing basis. You know, normally when we recite in the sadhana the visualization, we say that, you know, in the space before is the guru Amitabha surrounded by a retinue of bodhisattvas, and they're actually abiding in the main space. So all of that is the visualization of the field of accumulation, which constitutes the first cause of birth in Dewachen. And ideally, you bring all of that to mind. But at the very least, what's most important is to have the inspiration of being born there and to have a strong yearning and to not be distracted by any other thought while engaging in the practice. That's really the most important point. So that is the essence of the first cause of taking birth in Dewachen, which is the support of accumulating, of visualizing the field of accumulation.
Oh yeah, thank you. So then page number 28. Jom den gombo sanje opame zejen jaze samsen babazo nyomon rola tuje rabgon la dazo dejen shenden jendo so manja tuje tamja jejen de Todamaya tuje wangela lengan tazen korwa tongzhone tadani den rinban ze doso tedar dongyo jabe jugawe nande tule tuje womanche da zonzhowe nyengan tenbe mo danzin lo don chwa ran sarshe dami chuga gongba ngonjir san sardon zime chudang yam.
Hong, Transcendent Conqueror, Protector, Buddha Amitabha, and noble assembly of loving bodhisattvas, compassionately look upon us afflicted beings and guide us to the pure land of Dewa, Sukhavati. In accord with your past bodhicitta vows, not wavering from the sacred bond, deity with great compassion, please exhaust all negative karma and empty samsara from its depths. At this very moment, please act as our guide. As I, with intense devotion, have thus invoked the enlightened mind, red light rays of compassion radiate from the heart of Amitabha and dissolve into the hearts of myself and all beings. Self-grasping, misconceptions, and delusion have collapsed in themselves. The state of selfless Dhammakaya is realized, and I rest in the nature of clarity and emptiness, free from grasping and elaboration.
And the number gonde lezonwe sunanda ye tamba kanto de drowa donga chowa senwana abame benera tobayo.
By all the limitless and sacred merit obtained through this meditation and recitation, may all beings drowning in the river of suffering attain the supreme state of Amitabha.
Hoen chanjo semjo rinpoche maji banam ji je ba nyam bar me bayan kone kondon pewaisho.
May bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind, arise where it has not been. Where it has arisen, may it not decline but ever increase higher and higher.
Okay, now we lunch break. Everyone enjoy lunch. Also, between time, you just can focus recitation mantra it is more benefit, you know.
Thank you very much, Rinpoche. Dear Dharma brothers and sisters, just before we break for lunch, there is just a couple of announcements to make. So please bear with us for a little while. Number one, we will be giving the rights for you to on your video later on by promoting you to a panelist inside this Zoom room. So if you have received, the rights for you to become a panelist, please click accept so that you can later on turn on your video. Right. So on this day, we are having this retreat and we would like to appeal for support on this auspicious and meritorious retreat. So this is a merit-making opportunity for everyone to be part of the inconceivable merits of the 100 million mantras. There are numerous benefits in offering the flowers, the lamps, food to the triple gem, and all this we can vastly accumulate a lot of merits. So all this support also include the retreat itself as well as the Dharma Center operating costs. So all information on the sponsorships can be found on tinyurl.com/DTDL Dewa 21 sponsors. And this year, in gratitude, we have a very special token of appreciation. It is very auspicious and very precious imprints, hand and foot imprints of His Eminence Gachin Rinpoche. At the time of the imprints, where we took the prints, Gachin Rinpoche said that his right hand embodies the Chakrasamvara, which is the method, and his left hand embodies the Vajrayogini, which is the wisdom. And both union of method and wisdom represents the source of all Dharma. We rejoice your generosity towards the spreading of the Dharma that will actually bring inconceivable benefits to all sentient beings. Next will be the Changchok Puja. Changchok Puja it will be held in conjunction with the Amidewa retreat and held on the last day at 4 p.m. So the registration is now open. You may now register the names of your ancestors, deceased relatives, friends, and to dedicate all these accumulated merits of the auspicious retreats to them. For the living, it is also a great opportunity to receive blessings and to clear obstacles in this life. The registration is now open and is available on the link tinyurl.com/DTDL Amitabha Changchok 21. Next, a lot of our Dharma friends have been very supportive and very concerned about the building fund, which is actually a permanent premise in Singapore for our Dharma friends to practice together. And this is a wish of Gachin Rinpoche since many, many years ago. The project was started in 2011, and with the help and generosity of many Dharma friends, we finally have a property purchased in 2017. However, due to the pandemic and also government regulations, it has hit into certain difficulties. However, we are making good progress despite the challenges, but that also resulted in delays and increased costs. We have prepared a video which we are very excited to share at the break time on the current updates on the building of the current premise. Of course, we welcome all Dharma friends to continue to support in this building project, and so that we can quickly and swiftly finish this, envision this permanent center and for it to materialize soon. So the sponsorship link is at tinyurl.com/DTDL News Center 21, and this is where you may find more information. Following that, to help the support and the construction of the permanent premise, we have limited editions of the Golden Stupas that was blessed by His Holiness Chetsang Rinpoche and His Eminence Gachin Rinpoche at the 6th Amidewa retreat. It was a very rare occasion and very precious occasion where the two great masters met and led the retreat and gave the blessings to both the Amitabha statues and also the stupas. The limited edition Amitabha statues have all been brought home, but we still have the limited edition of the grand and very beautiful golden stupas for our sponsors to bring home. The stupas contain extremely holy items blessed by not only our lineage masters, but also masters of other lineages. It contains the mantras of the 5 wisdom Buddhas, the 3 Kaya appeals, and various items that are painstakingly collected from the holy sites from India, Nepal, Lapchi, and Tibet. So all these proceeds will be used for the construction of the new building. In addition, we'll also be sending out a catalog of other very precious statues to you. So for more information, you may visit the tinyurl.com/dtdl statue to bring home. Finally, before we break for lunch, outside the actual recitation sessions, so for example, during the breaks or at night, you are encouraged to continue to recite the mantra. So during this period outside the actual sessions, for example, now, which is the lunchtime, please do remember to take down the number of mantra accumulation and submit that online at amidewa/retreat.com. We'll now proceed for our lunch break. The Zoom room will remain open. Please do return by 1:55 to prepare for the next session. Thank you very much, Dhamma brothers and sisters, and have a good lunch break. Thank you.